you're making it sound like if we would let these people in and let the aid in and let the trucks in, so the Gazan civilians, right, would benefit from it, and they would get aid and they would get medicine and they would get materials. But that's not what happens. Anything that comes into Gaza goes to Hamas. That's it. That's the sad reality. Anything that enters Gaza, fuel. I'm saying, you saw this. I'm sure there was a fuel shipment that came in, and Gaza came with guns to the UN and stole it. They took it. They took the fuel that was meant for the people. So what? What are we supposed to do? I hear it's an awful, terrible situation. It's an awful, awful situation. And I also don't want that the regular Palestinian civilians can't have running water and can't have what they need, but they're not going to get it anyway. If it gets into that area, it's just going to go straight to Hamas. If there's a pause in fighting, Hamas is just going to rearm and rebuild and re-entrench themselves. It's a terrible, terrible tragedy. It is, but there's none of these things are actually going to help the Palestinians. That's the terrible, terrible piece of this, is that we're fighting against a mentality and a situation that is just not, it's so foreign to us. It's so foreign. It's like usually obvious that a government and the army are there to serve and protect the people that they are serving. And of course, they want the medical supplies to get to their people. And of course, they want their people to get to safety. And of course, they want their people to have, but that's just not the case over here. It's just not. And that's not our fault. So I don't know. Yes, I agree with you. It looks awful. It looks terrible. It looks horrible. And it's so easy to point the finger at Israel. It's so easy to say, look at these animals, not even letting them have this. Even the Nazis gave them water. Who knows what they would say? You know what I mean? But the sad, tragic, awful fact of the matter is that they're not going to be helped either way. The only way to help them is to get rid of Hamas. That's it. That's the only way to help the actual Palestinian people. And I get it. I get it that it's very hard for the world to accept this and to understand it and to see it this way and to appreciate. I understand that. However, Israel has been dealing with these people for decades, and they do get it. They do understand that when you talk peace with them, they see that as weakness, and the only language they understand is strength. And that's, that's the reason that I think the only reason that Hezbollah has not gotten more into the war is because of how strongly Israel was responding. If Israel would have responded in a more weak, toned down way, as Hezbollah immediately would see that as weakness, and I think they would have been much more involved in this war. But
there, I think that Iran, for some reason, is holding them back. I think Iran controls Hezbollah in many ways, and I think Iran doesn't want to get involved and tells Hezbollah, "Whoa, stand down."
Okay, but I think that's because they're not sensing the weakness in Israel that they were hoping for. I think
probably this flotilla of 70 ships ready to bomb southern Lebanon, I suppose, if it escalates, is also helping as a deterrent.
Yeah, probably. But it's so I you know what I mean? I completely understand what you're saying and the way that it looks, and the people who don't understand the situation, it looks to them as, completely evil and brutal and inhumane and all of these things. And my response is only yes. All of that stuff, that's Hamas. That's exactly what they are, and that's exactly what they're doing, and that's exactly the scenario that they are forcing onto their people. And Israel is stuck. Israel, just like the Gazan civilians are stuck, like you said, between a rock and a hard place, and I feel for them. Israel is also very stuck over here, but they're not gonna err on the side of more dead Israelis. That they're not gonna do.